and welcome, welcome. I have another video for you of the fun project, a fun technique. As a matter of fact, I actually already have a video on this, but I discovered another technique that's going to make it easier, faster, and therefore it's going to be more fun. But before I tell you, I want to ask you to please subscribe to my YouTube channel, share with your friends, like, give us a thumbs up, and don't forget to drop some comments. I'm going to show you how to take cards, envelopes, and these beautiful napkins and transform them into note cards, just like that, and gorgeous envelopes, the whole envelope. Okay, so this is what you're going to need. These are the things you're going to need to do this project: parchment paper, saran wrap, plastic wrap, beautiful napkins, an iron, I'm using a little Cricut iron, scissors, cardstock, envelopes, Mod Podge, a bone folder, and you're going to need a silicone sheet just like that. Okay, let's get started. So to make these note cards, we're actually going to be using two different types of adhesive. We're going to be using Mod Podge as one of them and plastic wrap. This is how I get my crafting area ready when I'm going to be doing the iron-on technique. I'd like to call this my sandwich. So I start with an ironing pad just like that, a piece of wood, which is actually a Dollar Tree sign, a silicone pad, and then for the papers, I'm going to be using envelopes, cardstock, and some beautiful napkins. I'm going to start with these two. I'm going to start with the card, and I decided to use this really pretty beach napkin. I'm only going to need one square, so I'll put the other ones aside. I chose this nice sandy tan paper to use. I'm going to fold it in half, and I'm going to take my bone folder and give it a good crease. A bone folder is something paper crafters use. Okay, so that's the area we're going to be putting the napkin on, and we're going to do the envelope later. Okay, so we only use the top ply when we are doing decoupage, so I need to remove it from the other plies. I'm going to put a little bit of Mod Podge on my fingers, and then I can separate the top ply from the others. Okay, we're going to put the napkin onto the front of the card. So I'm just going to place it there and kind of eyeball it to see exactly where I want to put it, like that. But now let's move on to the adhesive we're using, which is going to be plastic wrap. Now, using plastic wrap is nothing new, but here is my new tip, and that is the silicone mat. Smooth out the plastic and it sticks to the silicone mat, which means when you go to iron this, it's not going to move at all. So put the napkin down on top, and I can kind of see through it so I know where to place it, like that. And then I'm going to take a piece of parchment. I'm going to be using baking parchment and put that down on top. I'm protecting the napkin, but I'm also protecting my iron with the parchment. Okay, so now we're just going to start to run the iron over the card. And what's happening is the plastic wrap is melting, and now the napkin is sticking to the card. Oh, and this is the iron I use. It's a Cricut iron, has 3 different heat settings, and there's the on and off switch. I love it, such a cute iron. Does a good job. It's all cool now, so I can take a look at it. And I'm checking the edges. If any of the edges have lifted, I'm going to have to put the piece of parchment back down again. And it looks like that one little corner needs to be re-ironed. So I'm just going to touch it up like that. And then we're going to let it cool again. The card is all cool, and we're ready to remove it from the silicone sheet. So I'm just going to lift it up. And look at that. The saran wrap is attached to the silicone sheet. How much easier can it be than that? All right, let's take a look at it, and we'll open it up. It looks very, very nice. So now we're just going to remove the edges, and I took a good pair of scissors, and I'm going to just follow the shape of the little card. And what I love is that there's no saran wrap there for me to try to cut, because it all came off onto the silicone sheet. Okay, let's take a look. Looks nice, feels nice too. I really love how this came out. I love using the silicone sheet. I really hope that when you do this, you're going to give it a try, because it really works so well. Love this card. Okay, so now on to doing the envelope. Now we're ready to do the envelope. This is the napkin I chose, goes really good with that little beach scene. All right, we're only going to use the top ply, so I'm going to remove the back plies like I did for the note card. And as you can see, I've already put the envelope on. I've covered it with the saran wrap, which is sticking beautifully to that silicone sheet. I love it. Okay, so we're gonna get the napkin on, make sure the whole envelope is covered like that. Okay. Again, we're going to take a piece of baking parchment, put it on top, and then we're going to run our iron all over the envelope. And again, the iron is hot, it's heating up the saran wrap, and the saran wrap is now the glue, which is keeping the napkin to the envelope. Okay, let's take a look. Love the silicone sheet. Okay, I'm just going to check the edges, and it looks like that one spot needs to get a little bit more ironing up there in the left corner. And we're just going to go over it some more. A little bit more just for good measure. Okay, now let's just wait for that to cool. It's nice and cool, so let's take a look. Love the silicone. And we're just going to peel the envelope right off of the silicone sheet like that. Turn it over and we'll just push back some of that saran wrap. The plastic wrap isn't sticking to the napkin, so you can just pull it away like that. I have to show you something about the silicone sheet. One side is shiny and one side is dull. I used the shiny side. That's where the saran wrap will stick really well. Okay, now if you don't want to use the saran wrap, you certainly can use Mod Podge. This is a piece of cardstock. I coated it with Mod Podge, 2 coats, and I let it dry. I can still use the iron-on technique. I've got my board, I've got a piece of parchment down, except I'm not using the saran wrap. So I'm just going to place the napkin down. And again, you can see right through it. And by the way, I am using just the top layer of the napkin. I'm going to put another piece of baking parchment on top. And now I'm going to run my iron. And this time it's the Mod Podge that is melting, and that's why the napkin is going to stick. Just like that. The card is cool, and now we're ready to remove the excess. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go all the way around the shape of the card with my scissor to remove all the extra napkin. I wanted to do the envelope flap. I didn't want to do the whole thing, and I had to do it with Mod Podge. It just didn't work with the saran wrap, but that's okay. I put a couple of coats of the Mod Podge on. I let it dry, and I have this little napkin scrap, and I'm going to line it up right there, and just make sure you fold it over so that the napkin is going in the right direction and it's not upside down. And again, I'm just making sure that the whole flap is covered. And I can see through it because it's a single layer of a napkin. I've got the parchment back on top. And now I'm going to run my hot iron over it. And now I'm not sure, but you may be able to mail it with the just the flap done. I don't know. It might make it through the mail. Okay, let's take a look. Looks good. And we'll just trim off all that extra. These are the last 2 things I did using the Mod Podge instead of the saran wrap, and I trimmed them both up. That's the card, and that's the envelope. I love the envelope, and the Mod Podge worked really well. Now I was thinking, well, what about the guys? We can make cards for the guys too. I love that pickup truck napkin. Looks good on that dark cardstock, and the envelope, I love that pattern. It's like a perfect complement. Love the lighthouse, and I used a wood grain napkin to cover the envelope, and there's the napkin and the truck. This is a beautiful napkin. I was able to make this huge card. Look how beautiful that is. Mother's Day, grandmother, bridal shower, nice big envelope too. Really pretty napkin. This is the card I opened up the video with the sunflower. Very cute. I love that napkin. But the whole envelope, it looks so great. I love that. Napkin is so cute, also very, very popular. Now, the one I did with the beach chair and the shells has to be one of my favorite cards of all time. In fact, I added a little bit of extreme glitter. Look at that. That's made by Plaid. Look how pretty that is. Give it a nice little touch. Now remember, if you're a paper crafter, now is the time to think about any other embellishments that you might want to put on your card. How did you like that silicone sheet Wow, when it's something is easy, it makes it so much more fun. Now, I get all of my beautiful napkins from Vippy's Designs, www.vippys.com. So the silicone pad, as you saw, it really does work and it's perfect for a beginner. You don't have to be an experienced decoupager to do this. I want to give a shout out to my wonderful group page, which goes right along with my YouTube channel, Decoupage D.I.Y with Joan-Marie Domino. I have lots of videos posted, and I've got lots more coming. So please subscribe, please share, please like, give us a thumbs up, and please drop in some comments. Say hi, ask a question. I love when we can chat with each other. Thank you so much for watching.